the poverty reduction plan, we work in kind of tandem a bit across the area. There's 12 independent regions. So I'm one, Alex is representing another. And then our work here is we're working on trying to connect what's happening locally up to the provincial plan and making sure that our work addresses the local priorities and needs. And our areas, I know when I talk to people, a lot of poverty reduction work is in urban areas. We're rural and urban mix. We have in Westmoreland, Alberta, more than 5,000 kilometers squared of county, about 175,000 people spread out across there. And we have a fairly mixed income, and we also have a very mixed age demographic, and so we're addressing different realities, and the work that we kind of do is trying to be broad, but we're dealing with clusters and pockets. And so that's where, when we started our research, which I'll talk about a bit later on, we were noticing for transportation, the big demand was for the barrier was for our rural residents getting into the urban areas or just getting around their communities because we're so car dependent. And so that's what we kind of started addressing. And so we were finding that the fact that we're such a car dependent community and region, it was a huge cost for households. It was limiting people's access, because we address poverty, but we also are looking at social inclusion. So it's limiting people's access to the community. And we thought everyone should have the right to access essential services. So we dove into partnering on different projects to make sure that people could get where they need to go. And I'll let Alex fill in any gaps I missed.
Thanks, Joanna. So as Joanna explained, the CINs, our community inclusion networks are called, are the regional bodies that are nonprofits, basically, that are contracted with the provincial agency that's responsible for reducing poverty. The way it works financially is we get $100,000 a year, typically in grants, and half of that goes to transportation projects. So $50,000 to work with on a yearly basis, and we often use that money, well, us talking about CINs in general, these networks, use that money to support partners who are working on transportation projects. So for us, that means supporting our local dial-a-ride. I'll explain that later, but our region is a bit smaller than Joanna, and we have 26,000 people only. It's a really interesting part of New Brunswick. It's right on the border with Maine. It has part of the southwest coastline on the Bay of Fundy, and it has a few islands as well. Some who have populations of a couple thousand are accessed only by ferry. In fact, I'll be taking the ferry tonight to visit one of the islands. So it's an interesting little part, a lot of history, very beautiful, lots of tourism, and some of our main industries are within the resource sector, pulp paper, aquaculture, and we have some manufacturing as well. But yeah, some of the main transportation issues we're facing here is the fact that we lost our inner city bus a few years ago. It was a private company who's using it as part of their Atlantic Canada services. So it's kind of like the Greyhound for Atlantic Canada. They decided to cut the line to Charlotte County because it was unprofitable. We also have a government that is more predisposed to centralizing essential services in larger urban centers. We found out that our hospital in this area is not going to be moving, which is a great relief to a lot of people, but we've lost our courthouse, we've lost numerous provincial services in this area, and a lot of things have moved to St. John, New Brunswick, which is our closest urban center, about an hour and 10 minutes away from here. So that has created numerous transportation problems.
Yeah.
We also deal with a lot of poverty in this area, and out of the cities reducing poverty members, we have the highest number of single parent families living in low income. 1 in 4 children living in low income category, and 1 in 5 families